Hello, and welcome back to the Pokemon Emerald Level Locke. My name is Ectric, and we are here in episode 3 of the new series. And I'm still recording in 3 in a row now, so that's why I'm still calling it the new series. It's our 3rd day, but it's still new. We're still in single digits. It's fine. Oh crap. Sorry about that. A bunch of notifications popped up and covered up some of the screen, and then I tried moving it over and it messed up with the music a lot, so we will just cut that all out in post-production, and from there we will be able to continue on with our series. So, team recap, there's really not much of one. We have Beskett, the possible beauty fly. We are not sure whether we will be able to keep this one. It has shield dust, which prevents added effects. That's really nice. And then it also knows Tackle, String Shot, and Poison Sting. Some aspects of this game are still randomized, so all the trainers will have randomized mons. All of the Pokemon's abilities are random. The only thing that's not random are the encounters and the starters and the statics, which is admittedly a lot of it. So there's a lot of it that isn't randomized in terms of the Pokemon, but that's necessary in order to be able to have the Pokemon show up where they're supposed to. Alright, so with that, we will continue training our Beskett. Good. Oh, shoot, again. Alright, we're back. Jeez. Technical difficulties out the wazoo, apparently. So let's continue fighting this Poochyena. Alright, can we defeat it in one more shot? Beautiful. Alright. Let's gain some more levels. So, I, over the past couple of days, the reason this didn't come out the day after the Pokemon Blue FIFO lock ended was because I've basically had a bunch of schoolwork just come up that I really needed to get done. The main thing that came up is that I had to choose what my qualifying exam paper is going to be. So I am in my 2nd year of a PhD program, and every student has to take a qualifying exam, which basically proves that it's a pass-fail exam that basically proves you're fit to go continue moving on with your PhD. And in my major, in my department, the exam is much more of you writing a paper and then defending it orally, so it's a lot more like the actual thesis that we're going to be doing than just an actual test. So I actually kind of enjoy that because it's not like it's just one stressful event that I have to study for. It's just I can put a lot of time into it and edit it, and then I can also speak about it and defend it orally, which I think that I have a bit of an advantage on, especially since starting the YouTube channel. I think I've gotten a lot better at speaking, although I do still have a lot of, umming and ahhing and getting distracted by things, but I think that in an academic setting, at least, I am pretty good at speaking what's on my mind and being able to defend my thoughts. So I think that that's definitely something that's going to play into my wheelhouse, but the other thing is that I had to choose which paper I'm going to be doing my paper on. So basically, the premise of the qualifying exam is that you have to choose an academic paper on a research topic, and you have to read it and then write a review and basically a summary on what the paper is about, and then you have to come up with a proposal that builds upon the research that was done in that paper, and you have to write a research proposal on that research that you came up with. So it's essentially a review and then a research proposal all in one on the same topic. So today I basically spent most of the morning going through all the different papers that they have on as our choices, and I went through each one and essentially ranked them on how interested I would be in writing a review on them and giving a possible proposal. And I chose my top 3, and I sent it in to the department, and they're going to let me know this Friday, which already happened as of this episode being posted. So I will already know what my qualifying exam paper will be by the time you see this episode. But at the time of recording, it is only Tuesday. I'm losing track of the days with being socially distanced and not going outside for days at a time. I definitely lose track of what day it is in the week. The only real reason I know is because I still have online classes that I have to show up for on Monday and Thursday, and seminars on Wednesdays. So as long as it's not that, I don't really have to worry too much about what day it is. Oh, really? You're gonna miss? Alright. No crits. Good. Okay. And Basket gained some level, or didn't gain a level. One more battle and we should be able to see if it's a SILCOON or a Cascoon. Knowing my luck, it's going to be another Cascoon. But yeah, so we will find out soon whether, what paper I got and what I will be writing my qualifying exam on. And that one, the qualifying exam paper is due the 27th, and then the next week we will be doing our oral defenses all online because of the social distancing and quarantine and such. Alright, is this... SILCOON! Hooray! Okay, so with that, we will be, we now know we have a Beautyfly in the making. So Basket is in fact a SILCOON, which means, unfortunately, we have to go and box our starter Help Junior. But we can, at the very least, gain some levels with Basket again. And it's now pretty much able to take on things without needing help from the starter, which is good. Alright, let's go put you in the PC. So move, Pokemon. So we're going to make the starter have its own box. We're going to rename it. Let's see. What should we name the box? We only have like 8 letters, which is unfortunate, because I was going to say like Starter's Island or something like that. We could... Paradise, maybe? Or Heaven? It's not dead. Paradise. Yeah, we'll go with Paradise. Come on. Dice. We're going to put Help Junior in Paradise, because he deserves it. Oh, we should also change the wallpaper. Let's see. Forest, city, desert, savanna, crag, volcano, snow, cave, beach. Yep. So, Help Junior, thank you for helping us through the early game. We officially get 1 point from Help Junior, which is very, very good for this type of lock, because if we had to solo run until like after the first gym or something like that, he probably would have ended up getting to like level 20 or something like that before we were able to box him. So only 1 level from our starter is a very good total, and we currently have a score of 1 plus the 4 that we've got on Basket for a total of 5. So that is our score in the middle of episode 3. Alright, and with that, we are going to train up Basket until she is a Beautyfly, and then we're going to go take on Petalburg Woods and Roxanne in the gym. Now, rock types are really bad for Basket. I don't know how we're going to take on that gym. We're definitely going to have to grind to a high level for Basket. Oh, you know what? We can get a Whismur, too, in the Rough Turf Tunnel. So, Whismur, it's gonna also be the case that we're gonna have, to train them up a lot, unfortunately, but, they're, oh boy, they're gonna have not very effective moves, because it's a normal type. Oh boy, this is gonna take a while. We're gonna have to, definitely train up, over-level our team for this first gym battle, because we've got nothing super effective on it. Or nothing even normally effective, I think. Except maybe Poison Sting. Alright, well, while we train our team, we can kind of talk about a little bit other stuff. Because, actually, yeah, we will. We'll keep this in the episode. I was going to say we could just, cut back once I've got my team up a bit, but it's going to be a lot of grinding. I don't want to do a lot of it off screen just yet because there's going to need to be a lot of grinding early game to even get us close, and that's going to be most of the content to start off until we get to the first gym, past the first gym. Alright, so let's go heal up our team. We should probably start moving forward. I think we can take on the first trainer at the very least. Good. Okay, so while we do this, I kind of want to do some exploring in this game. Because we're not really rushing, we can kind of talk to other people in this town and try and get like extra items and TMs and stuff. I didn't do that as much in Pokemon Blue. I don't know why I didn't. Probably just because it was my first series and I wanted to make it as content heavy as possible and gameplay heavy as possible. But I kind of like exploring, especially in this gen. It's my favorite gen, so it makes it nice to be able to go through all these houses and see what they have to say and stuff. Or what they have to give, more like. So, with that, let's go take on our first trainer. Alright, what do you got? Pseudo-Wudo. So you are a rock type, which means we're going to get a first glimpse at exactly what we're going to be dealing with. Rock throw already. It's not very effective, but you can be poisoned. So that's good. So we're definitely going to want to use Poison Sting. Just, oh, wow. Alright, well, with that, we already got our first penalty. 4-point penalty. Okay, so that means we have to train a lot. We cannot take on the first trainer. Oh boy. What am I gonna do? Oh boy. What typing is it right now? Let's see. Summary. So you're pure bug. When you get to be Beautyfly, I think you're bug and flying, which means you're 4 times weak to ground. Oh boy. This is gonna suck. Alright, well. Level 7 is apparently not enough to be able to get past a level 5 rock type. Which is... Oh, you're an idiot. I've been worrying about the rock type gym this entire time. It's randomized. Well, at the very least, we now know that there's a rock type up for this first trainer, but the gyms are going to be randomized, so it's very likely we could get, you know, grass types or whatever, so the flying will be useful or whatever. There's no guarantee that we're going to have rock types in there. We just need to know the levels. Well, that makes it a lot better, at least. Now we know we don't have to train, like, a crap ton until, like, level 30 just to get past the first gym, per se. But we do need to train up our team a lot, our Mon a lot more to be able to get past that first trainer even, which is a shame. Alright, well, so obviously when that death happened, I decided to just take the penalty of reviving rather than choosing a different Mon, because it was the penalty was actually less to revive than to get a new randomized Mon. Also, because if we were to get to the point where we choose a different Mon, it's very likely that it would be randomized to something we can't get just yet. So we would need to go back to our starter. Which would have been a problem anyway, so... Alright, let's continue training. Now, one situation that I'm not completely sure about is whether we... Well, that would still be a penalty, though. Alright, well, never mind. My thought process, what I was thinking there, was whether we should count all the Mons we ever used in our final total, or just the ones that are on our team. Because if we were to use, let's say, like, a Beautyfly until it was level 50 from when it was level 3, and then we decided to just, in the Elite Four, when it died, randomize to a different one, I feel like that wouldn't necessarily be fair to take the to only get a 5 level penalty there, and then just basically have a brand new Mon that we never used. I'm gonna have to think about that. These rules will definitely be a little bit nebulous in this run as I kind of figure out exactly what I want to do with it, because with the FIFO lock, it was simple enough because it was mostly just a Nuzlocke where my team was determined by when I caught them. So there was really not much there was really not much I could mess up or mess with in terms of the rules in that one. But this one, because there's so many moving parts that I implemented rather than were already implemented from, you know, a tried and true lock type or game style, it's gonna definitely be a lot more just me trying to figure out what works and what doesn't, and basically try and make it so that it's as hard as possible to game the system, because I don't want it to be where I can kind of just the best method is to just cheat the system and go against the spirit of the game style, because the spirit of the game style is to get as well-diverse a team as possible, as low a level as possible, and beat the Elite Four with as few deaths. So, in the spirit of that, I feel like it probably wouldn't... Maybe what we could do is, if you want to replace your team member, you still get the penalty of their levels, but you also get a +5 penalty on top of that. Or maybe the further into the game we get, the higher the level penalty it is to replace your team members. I don't know. We'll have to figure it out, because I don't want it to be where I can kind of just purposefully lose a team member to avoid their level total at the very end. I think definitely something we're going to implement is that the fainted mon is on your team until it's replaced by the new one. So that if we were to have like a death at the end of in the Elite Four run, it wouldn't be that we want to get it down so that we only have one death. So we're like, for example, if we have 6 level 60s, we don't want it to get to the point where I'm purposefully having 5 of them die, so that I end with only 1 level 60 that I have to count towards my total. So it will be that if you have a fainted mon on your team, its points still count until you catch the new one that you're replacing it, or until you revive it. In which case you're getting the points anyway, or getting the penalty anyway. So at that point, it would make more sense to just have it stay dead. But yeah. So these rules are gonna evolve as I kind of figure out some, you know, holes in the logic of it and stuff like that, because I don't want it to be where it gets to the point where I'm just kind of solo running with one mon and purposefully losing mons to game the system. That's definitely not something I want to do, and I don't want it to be because I chose not to. I want it to be because the rules didn't let me. So I'm going to continue trying to figure out exactly what these rules are going to look like in the future, and this playstyle will come back in other games as well. So this is definitely going to be one that I want to make into a staple of my channel, along with the FIFO locks. The FIFO locks are I'm basically going to try and do a playthrough of each gen, and basically go through and figure out a team of mons for each gen that are fun to play with, and that I don't necessarily get to choose, but are randomized. As opposed to in this one where it's it's completely randomly generated. It doesn't matter how hard or easy it is to catch. I don't know. It's a lot more fun in my mind, at least, to have the Nuzlocke aspect of it choose it for you randomly, as opposed to having a random number generator choose it. Because I don't know why, actually. It's probably because you still have to catch it first, and it feels a lot more like earned, maybe, rather than just having it chosen for you and then you have to just kind of find it in the game. Also, I think the fact that you don't you kind of grow to like your Pokemon as they move on, as opposed to, you know, seeing immediately that what your best team is going to look like. So, I mean, in the FIFO lock, obviously the Mewtwo kind of made it so that it didn't really matter what the rest of my team looked like. But let's say that the Mewtwo was the last one I caught, and the first one my starter was the Nidorino. If I had looked at my team and said, okay, so I would have had, I'm gonna have a possible Nidoking, a possible Executor, possible Victory Bell, an Electabuzz, and a Primeape, I probably would have gone into it thinking, oh no, that's probably not going to be great because I'm not going to have any real I'm going to have overlapping coverage with 2 grass types and an electric type, so that's going to be covering water a lot, but it's not going to be covering pretty much it's not going to be covering like electric very well. But you know, as my team went on and I grew with it, I grew to find exactly what I could possibly use them for. So, you know, for the grass types, I could use my Primeape, my Purunga, for being able to take down with his Fire Punch. And I could use Sunny to take on fighting types because it learned Psychic and that kind of stuff. So you kind of get a better sense of exactly. You don't have an exact sense of what your team's going to look like without getting emotionally attached to them first in this gen style. So it's basically, you know, you have none of the emotional attachment, but all of the knowledge of how good or bad your team is going to be. So going into this, I was a little stressed out because I saw, you know, Beautyfly and Whismur, and I was like, oh man, those 2 are not really that great, but you know, assuming that I can get past the first trainer at some point, I think that Basket can actually come into being a very good, you know, Mon that I can learn to really enjoy having on my team. But, you know, going into it already knowing which Mons you have, it kind of colors your expectations a bit. So that is one thing that I like about the FIFO locks a little bit more than this, but at the same time, it's not like I can, you know, hide it from myself, per se, because I need to know what I'm allowed to catch and not. Unless I had someone else that, like, didn't tell me, and only told me once I got to the route that I was allowed to catch them in. Which would be kind of cool, but at the same time, you'd need to have a separate person to do that. Alright, what level am I now? Level 9? Yeah. We'll get to level 10 and then we'll call it an episode. Alright? Good. Alright. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna need to grind off-screen for this one, because I also need to check out what Basket's move set is, because I don't know what level I'm gonna need to get to be able to even live one of those rock throws, let alone be able to do enough damage to it to kill it, because it one-shot me, and I got lucky that it missed once, and I still barely did any damage to it. Oh boy, that's gonna be a tough battle to get through. I don't know what I'm gonna do for that one, but we will see that eventually. The good thing about Basket is she evolves pretty quickly. Speak of the devil. We are going to have our Beautyfly. Oh no, it's definitely gonna be bug flying, isn't it? Oh, that's 4 times effective with the rock types. Well, too late now. I don't know if I should have left it as a SILCOON. That might have been smarter. I don't know. Absorb. That's super effective on Sudowoodo. That's definitely something we need. Harden might be useful. We'll get rid of String Shot. Absorb is definitely going to be useful against the rock type. It'll also heal us. Okay, that might be... I'm glad that I evolved it now. Alright, with that being said, I think that's a good place to leave our team off for... or leave ourselves off for today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Had a lot of fun making it. We're learning together exactly what this lock type is going to entail. And bear with me as I figure out exactly what I want to do, and I'll probably be talking out loud to myself a lot about, you know, my thought process on how to make this series better. But I hope you enjoy it. I hope that it turns out to be a really fun time that maybe other YouTubers will eventually take up, or you take up in your free time. You can do a level lock yourself, and we can compete against each other to see who can get the lowest level score after a run. I think that'd be a lot of fun to try and make it into a competition eventually. But I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and until then, I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day. Bye.